Good afternoon once again to everyone. I think we started the game quite well. We created situations that could have given us a goal first half. I do believe the injury to Brandon Peterson was a big factor in our second half, because now you had to have 4 substitutes that can influence the game inside the pitch. And the goalkeeper, you never really anticipate something to happen to the goalkeeper. And an experienced keeper that was probably leading the team quite well first half. Though I must say the youngster also did very well second half, but I just feel the substitution killed the thinking of considering even a more experienced centre-backs for second half, because we had to try now to patch here and there. But be that as it may, I think there were 2 penalty shouts. But in my opinion, I've not really looked at the footage, but I think were clear penalty shouts. And immediately after a very big chance for us, we lapsed in concentration and we were caught in transition with a goal that I must say the youngster made a very brilliant run. And from there, when you are chasing the game against Pirates, Pirates is a team that relies a lot on transition, and they'll always catch you when you are open. But it's a cup match. We couldn't sit back. We had to try to see what we can get, and unfortunately, we considered a second. The sad part is that the team did not score. The reality is, had we gotten the penalty that I think we should have had in the first half, maybe the complexion of the game would have been different, because in my opinion that one was a very clear penalty.
Let me go to our champion coach. Coach, your reflection on the game, and also just sitting on the bench, having a full experience of this football match. Just share with us.
Ngokwami ngijabule kakhulu ukubona nje igame ngendlela edlale ngayo. Kodwa-ke uma ngesilo usuku lakho kusuke ngesilo usuku, ngeke uze uyiphoqe izinto ukuthi zibe ngale ndlela ofuna zibe ngayo. Ngokwami abafana abadlalile banikeze konke abebenika ngokwegame, ngoba uma uzokhumbula ukuthi siye ku-first half ibeshisa futhi igame bawatholile amathuba futhi bebeya naphambili. Kodwa-ke kube nje ukuthi isijikele nje eswini nathi ngendlela esingabonanga ukuthi isijikele ngayo. Kahle kahle umuntu uma ezokushaya ingozi awuyiboni, kodwa uyibona ngoba isikushayile bese ubona ukuthi hayi yazi sengiyavusa. Kodwa nacha ngathi siwile kwe-game yethu. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
All right, let me come to Mokoena here. Just your experience being part of the All-Star team, having an opportunity to play against a big team like Orlando Pirates and sharing the stage with players from the league. How was it?
I think it was a great experience for everyone, because it's not everyone who gets this opportunity to play and it's tough, but I think as a team we should have just converted our chances and scored our chances, then the game would have changed.
All right, I'm going to open the floor to members of the media. Do we have a roaming mic? If not, I will do the roaming. Just show with a show of hand. Questions? Okay, we'll start this side.
Evening, Coach Manqoba Mngqithi from Kickoff. Yeah, we obviously mentioned that you use the sort of coaching space. But what do you make of the concept of the Carling Cup? You know, you're working with a group of players that you probably haven't worked with before. You coaching alongside someone who probably has a little bit of experience in the space, and the nature of the sort of fixture. You know, what do you make of the concepts of the Carling Cup?
I think that there are many positives in the concept itself, because I think it opens up the opportunity for youngsters to get to play against a big team that is champions at that point in time, and also gives them a chance to play with more senior players. And I think that is an opportunity that every young player would appreciate. The only thing that I would wish can be improved in that regard is the rule of having 5 youngsters on the pitch. I think it's a good rule. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think it is right to have a lineup that is already up there, where you cannot decide on which youngsters you want to start with. Because if maybe the voting is about the 6 senior players that must be on the pitch, then the other 5 youngsters, the coach is given a chance to make that choice. I think it would influence the game better, because I want to give you an example. The voting gave us 3 left-footed defenders, and we could not have a right back from the beginning of the match that is right-footed, because we have 3 players that are left-footed in the pitch and 1 that is right-footed, and it's already cast in stone that they should play as a back 4. And I think that on its own is not always proper. And 2, in the development of team dynamics, you would always want to start building your team from the back. But when you're in your lineup, the back 4 is all youngsters, then it's already a big compromise to the team. But be that as it may, I must also give credit to the young boys that played at the back. I think they held themselves very well till the first goal that we considered, and you could see at that time it was also influenced by them being tired, because they have never really played a game of such intensity, and that is why maybe it created a little bit of challenges for us second half, because we could not do much. At least maybe without the substitution of Brandon Peterson, we could have still tried to play Adrian McCarthy in the defense, who is more experienced, who is more accustomed to this kind of pressure, and maybe try to reshuffle your team accordingly. But when you have to lose a goalkeeper, when you never even anticipate to lose defensive players in a game, it's always a big challenge. But I must say, the concept from Carling to give opportunities to people who aspire to be as close as possible to the PSL, and to also give a chance to champion coaches, because there are a lot of people that want to be closer to football, but they never really get an opportunity. And sometimes, for all the positive reasons, to bring somebody who might be a spectator to see what happens in football, because a lot of people think coaching is just pitching and going home. They don't know how much work goes with coaching, and when they start to understand this thing, I think they become very good influence out there amongst other fans in understanding what really goes on in the preparation of a team. And I must say, we worked very well with my co-coach, and I believe I tried the best I can to make him look at the game deeper than just what you can see at face value. And I was impressed with also his input within the team. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Coach, I know that you were in charge of the All-Stars team, but you had to analyze and come up against Pirates. They won 2 trophies, they won today, top of the log with the break. What do you make of them? the realistic chances of being the real deal, and just what you've analyzed, both as an Arrows coach, as the coach of the current All-Stars?
I think what is more fascinating with this Paris team, which can surprise a lot of people, is that they are just efficient, you know. And sometimes that dries up, because when you look at the XGs, sometimes you say they don't create as many chances. They rely a lot on the mistakes of the opponents, but they are able to punish most of those mistakes this season, which in the past they would miss a lot, maybe because they don't create as many chances. But this season, I think the inclusion of the players like Noremi, Apolis, has really refined their attacking play, and you know what Apolis is capable of. Tuma may be everywhere in that position, but he's strong very aerially, and he works very hard defensively to press from the top, and that is something that they are building on. And that efficiency, sometimes if it dries up, then you must rely on how much creativity, how much do you really force opponents to make mistakes, because it's a different story to play on transition, and it's a different story when you have to break down low blocks, because I can guarantee you from what they've done first half of the season, a lot of teams are going to sit back in the second half. And when they sit back, then it asks a lot of questions in the team, because at the moment, on top of my head, I think they've created a lot of goals from transition.
Coach, something took my head from Sports Wide. Just your thought on, being reunited with Maalende and also Atu Salis. What did you make of their growth? It's Sundowns since we left there.
No, man, those are top players. Technically, the level is very different, and tactically, the awareness of Marcelo is probably one of the best midfielders in the country. And not many people know him because he hardly spends time on the ball. He's always where he's supposed to be, and my experience of working with him in particular will always tell you how good the boy is. Atur, I've always said, I don't think he's a striker, but I think he's a very creative offensive player. And in that position, he creates a lot of assists. He's always where it's painful for the opponents. And I was very excited to see them again, and we reconnected again because they are my boys.
Coach, Ngozi from Minanda FM. Can I have your opinion in the standard of refereeing in South Africa, since we have 2 penalty shots, if you don't mind?
I would not really want to talk about the standard of refereeing, because I think that is neither here nor there, because the quality of referees in our country is very good. The quality of referees is very good. The game that you might not win because of the same referee, he can referee a top game against other opponents. So I don't want to even waste time on that. I don't think it's at a quality or competence level. I think it might have other influences in the game, but not necessarily the competence. I think the referees are competent enough.
Coach Manqoba, Vincent from SABC News. AFCON is almost upon us now. Just a message of encouragement to Bafana.
We must always root for this team, because it has done so well over the past few years, and they have been playing good football, I must also say. And also congratulations to Coach Bruce for taking the team there for the second time in a row, because that for me means something. And you can only wish now, after getting a bronze, you always want to climb the ladder and get, and even jump silver sometimes, and just go straight to gold. I wish them all the best, and I believe they selected a very good team.
Good afternoon, Coach. Just from a Arrow's perspective, what are some of the issues that you'll be focusing on behind the scenes, your player recruitment, enforcing the squad, and that kind of stuff?
I'm here for calling guys. Let's focus.
Thank you, coach, for that. Thank you. Offline, coach.
We are here for Kali, guys. Can we keep it Kali?
Good afternoon, colleagues. Bennet, of course, you've had a couple of stints in the Sundowns first team of late. Just how have you sort of adapted to the philosophy of Coach Miguel Cardoso, and also just your place in the Sundowns first team? How has it been like for you?
I think he has been really good because I've got some good friends like Chapel Maseko who encourages me to do well and to keep on improving myself and not be scared to be there. Also keep fighting for my position.
Karen, that'll be the last one.
Okay, yeah, my question was partially answered. It had to do with the refereeing, but I wanted to find out from Coach Manqoba, if we had VAR, would that have been picked up, or do you advocate for VAR to eliminate errors as we saw with the 2 penalties which were not given?
I've been calling for that for a long time because even VAR, there are mistakes, but at least there is exposure to those mistakes, and we are able to reflect on these mistakes. But sometimes in the PSL, if this team is affected by decisions, it means nothing. But when another team is affected by these decisions, then you can see you can hear the uproar. So for me, I think VAR will just help to expose these things and also to be able to keep track of these mistakes, because sometimes the same referees make mistakes for the same matches or teams, and you don't want that in football. You want honest mistakes, and honest mistakes I will always accept it, because I know sometimes I also think it's an offside and it's not an offside. It happens in football, but I think with VAR you eliminate the question mark. Then you say, coach, referee, can you come and see this and tell us what you really think is not a foul? Then if you say it's not a foul, then you move on. But at least it's there.